right, so we're going to learn how to think, not what to think today. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You ready? You with me?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, full engagement. Again, give me 20 minutes. I'm going to do a presentation, but this first part's really important because if without this first part, we can't do the other parts. Okay, I'm going to teach you 3 principles of how to think today. Okay, the first one is called psychological projections. I'm going to teach you how to own your education. Okay? You've got to learn to own your thinking in order to be a good thinker. Okay? That's the one that I'm going to kind of more lecture on. I'm going to tell you a story though. Who likes stories? Good. Okay. So there's going to be some story involved, okay? And I'll at least get one of you up out of your chair, I promise. Then, second one, then we're going to learn what's called psychological safety, okay? And that one, I'm going to only lecture a little bit on that one, and then we're going to do a workshop together, physically stand up and do something together, okay? And then for the third one, we're going to play a game, and that one's called confirmation bias. And we're going to overcome confirmation bias by playing a game. Sound good? Okay. All right. You ready for this? All right, let's jump in. Who's ever read the play Hamlet?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay, Hamlet. Okay. Remember Ophelia?
Yeah.
His sister? What happens to her? Yeah, she dies. She did. She died. Right? Now, Ophelia's story is tragic. And sadly, Ophelia's story is similar to most American story. Not that most Americans end up committing suicide like she did, but most of them fall victim to a trap that's now named after her. It's called the Ophelia complex. Okay?
Ophelia complex.
Yeah. Professor Bateman at Brigham Young University coined that phrase, the Ophelia complex. Okay? And what it essentially means is where you become a person who wants others to think for you. See, in the play, Hamlet, she's really confused because all this crazy stuff's happening, right? Her father, or her stepfather actually killed her father, which she doesn't know, but they're all confused about that, right? Hamlet believes that he killed because Hamlet's seeing the ghost of his father and he's coming to him. So she's just like, what is going on, right? So she goes to her stepfather and is like, what is happening? And he goes, think yourself a baby, and I will tell you what to think. Kind of creepy, huh? He tells her actually to think of herself as a baby, erase your mind, and I will tell you what to think. Isn't that kind of scary? Kind of sad?
Whoa.
No wonder she ends up committing suicide later, right? She doesn't learn to think for herself. But sadly, most Americans, most people in our world don't really know how to think for themselves. We fall in line with other people's thinking, and that's a mistake. Okay, so instead, what I'm going to teach you today is how to overcome that. So let's get into our first principle that's called psychological projections. I'm going to tell you a story. Okay? This story was created by a guy named Ken Wilber. He wrote it in his book, Integral Life Practice. I've adjusted the story to kind of fit our purposes and shortened it down. Okay? But it's his story. I didn't make up the story. Okay? His story. So, tell me if you've ever had this experience. Emmett decides to do his math homework. So he goes up to his room to begin. Right? But a strange thing happens as he begins. You see, he sits down, and he starts getting on his computer, and he starts looking at some websites on how to do his math. He starts checking in on Facebook, right? Then he starts leafing through his math book. Then he sharpens some pencils and gets out some paper. Then he cleans up his desk, right? Then he starts thinking, should I wait till my dad gets home so I can get some help? Then he looks at some other websites. What is he beginning to do?
Procrastinate.
He's beginning to procrastinate. Anyone ever done that? You go to do something, right? No, honestly, tell me if you've ever done this. You go to do something, and then you sort of putter around the edges of that thing, but you don't really do that thing. Who's ever done that? Be honest. Huh? Yeah? Well, we've all done that. Okay. So we've all had that experience. We begin to procrastinate it. Okay? So, Emmett is starting to procrastinate. See, he doesn't leave his room because his drive or his desire, okay, to do his math is still greater than his desire not to. He hasn't ditched it, right? He hasn't, put it away, but he's not really doing it, okay? He's beginning to do what's called a psychological projection, where he takes a drive is another word for desire, okay? He takes something that he wants to do and he begins to alienate it, push it away slightly, right? And it's not physical, it all is happening subconsciously, right? In fact, let's pause there for a second. What is the subconscious? Anyone know? What is that?
It's because we said underneath.
What is it?
What's happening that you don't really notice in your mind?
Yeah, it's kind of the stuff that you don't notice, right? Not the auto stuff like your heart beating. You can't think that one away, right? Hopefully not, right? But it's these things, these emotions, these feelings, these ideas that are kind of happening, and they're not in our conscious mind. Freud came up with that, and I don't love a lot of what Freud had to say, but I think one brilliant thing that he did find was he basically said you can't solve a problem you don't know you have. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
You can't solve a problem you don't know you have. In other words, you've got to pull information up out of your subconscious and get it into your conscious mind in order to deal with it. Okay? Emmett isn't consciously going, I'm not going to do this right now, is he? He's sort of subconsciously doing things, not even realizing he's doing it, and he's procrastinating. Again, have you ever done that? You don't even realize you're procrastinating it, but you are. Huh? Raise your hand if you've done that. Okay.
You don't realize it?
Yeah, you don't even realize you're procrastinating it. You just kind of are. And you find yourself all of a sudden, like, you wake up to it later, you're like, oh, I totally didn't even do that.
Oh, that's really
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we purposely procrastinate, but that's a whole different issue. Okay. So, all right, now he gradually becomes angry and annoyed with the whole task. Because once you start to procrastinate it, don't you kind of start to go, oh, I don't really want to do this now. And you start to kind of push it away even more. But, again, it's his problem. He's the one who went up to his room to do his math, right? He's the one who decided. So it's kind of weird to like go up to your room, sit down, and then be like, no, I'm not going to do that now. That's kind of, so we don't tend to do that. But he is subconsciously doing that. So all he really needs now to complete the projection is someone or something else to put it on, to make it their problem. In walks the unsuspecting victim. Emmett's mom gets home, and she innocently asks, how's the math going? How do you think he reacts? What do you think? Kind of lying a little bit. It's going fine even though he hasn't done it. What else? Do you think he's going to feel some pressure? Yeah? In fact, Emmett is like, Mom, get off my back. Have you ever reacted that way when your mom asks you about something you're supposed to do and you haven't done it? Get off my back, Mom. A little bit, right? Mom, arg, right? So, you see, he now feels pressure, not coming from himself, but coming from the outside. Pause there. Think about that. Lock in with me. Okay, lock in with me. He's feeling pressure about something he decided to do, but it's coming from the outside, and it's who here feels like you are excited when someone's micromanaging you or when someone's pressuring you? Are you just like pumped to do whatever they want you to do? No, you don't. So he decided to do his math homework, but now he's experiencing that drive as if it's pressure coming from the outside on his shoulders. And do you think now he's motivated to do it? Yes. But he's the one who decided to do it in the first place, right? Who's had this experience where now you feel pressure coming from the outside, right? You feel pressure, yet you're the one who decided to do it. How absolutely nuts is that? We are all crazy. Raise your hand if you've done this. You're all crazy people. Right? We all are. We've all done. It's just so weird that we all do this. Okay, I need a volunteer. Will you be a volunteer? Yeah. Okay, come here. All right, so let's put in this, let's solidify this principle, okay, of feeling pressure and why we feel pressure. Okay, what's your name?
Kaylee.
Kaylee. I'm Adam. Sorry, I shocked you there. Okay, so Kaylee, let's say I came up to you on the street and I don't know who you are, you don't know me, and I'm like, I come up and I'm like, Kaylee, see this cow over there? I really need you to paint it purple. Are you going to feel pressure to actually do that thing?
No.
No, you're not. You don't feel any pressure right now, right? Or what? No. You might feel annoyed, like, who's this dude? Why does he want me to paint the cow purple? What's going on here, right? You might be annoyed, but you're not going to feel pressure to actually do that thing, right? Okay. Give me something that you're working on in your life, though.
Math.
Math. Okay, we'll use math.
Like that I like working on or I don't like working on?
No, just something that you're working on that that you are, feeling some pressure around.
Probably math, yeah.
Okay, so what level?
Kind of all levels.
Okay.
I've been working
You're
on
doing some
all
like pre-algebra right now or algebra? Okay, so let's say I come up to you then. I know you.
Okay.
I'm Adam. You're Kaylee, right? We know each other.
Yep.
All right, I'm like, hey Kaylee, so how's the algebra going? Do you feel pressure?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And all I said is, how's it going? How's it going with it? But you feel pressure, right? Right? Everyone, raise your hand if you're like Kaylee and you feel some pressure around your math. How's your math going, guys? Do you feel pressure? Thank you. Okay, sit down. What's the difference? What's the difference between painting the cow purple and the math?
Math is important.
Maybe, but what if to that person, to me, painting the cow purple was pretty important? What's the real difference here?
Math was something that she was working on that she had to do. Well, painting the cow purple, she probably would.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Kaylee, and I want you just to be totally honest. Okay, totally real. Do you want to be good at math?
Yeah.
The difference is she wants to do it. You don't want to admit it, but you want to do it. If you truly didn't want to do the math, if you truly didn't want nothing to do with it, right? You didn't care about it just like you wouldn't care to paint the cow purple, right? You wouldn't feel pressure around your math. But you feel pressure because you actually do want to do your math. You actually do want to be good at it, right? But we project it onto others and we make it their problem. Let me tell you guys a story. I'm going to pause this story, okay? And I'm going to tell you a personal story from my life. When I was 12 years old, I was homeschooled. My parents put me into a new program. It was like this assistance program to homeschoolers, sort of co-op type thing, right? We went 3 days a week. And I went into this program, and they were kind of like funky people. They were like hippie conservatives. It's kind of a weird combination. They were just kind of weird people. And they really believed in this idea of inspire, not require. Have you ever heard of that? Inspire, not require. Basically, the idea is we're not going to force you to learn. You have to want to learn. And they really took this really far. So on the first day, they said, we only want you to learn if you want to learn. You don't have to be here. You only can be here if you want to be here. And I raised my hand and I was like, no, what do you mean by that? And like I could leave, I could get up and go, I could go do something else and you wouldn't get mad? Yeah, we want you to want to be here. And my 12-year-old brain went, what a bunch of suckers. What a bunch of suckers. So about 15 minutes later, maybe a half hour later, I got up and I walked out. And I went outside, and I think that day I skateboarded. Another day I went outside and played basketball. There were some basketball hoops. There was like a factory across the week, and there was always people playing basketball on their breaks and stuff. I'd go play basketball with them. They had these weird bathrooms. They were huge, like literally like the size of here to that wall and about that wide of that space, right? Big old bathrooms. And on one end they had the stalls and so forth, and then they had sinks. And then like over here they'd have couches.
What?
Yeah, couches in the bathroom. And I was like, what a nice place to take a nap. And now my adult self says, sleeping in a bathroom, yeah. But my 12-year-old self had no problem with it, and I slept good. So I slept in the bathroom. Anyway, so I pretty much did this for the entire year. Okay? Pretty much did this all year long. And
For a whole year?
yeah, I did this for the whole year. I slept in the bathroom, played basketball, skateboarded outside, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I did this all year long.
So you got good at skateboarding.
Yeah, I got pretty good at skateboarding, but not a whole lot else. And I slept a lot in the bathroom, so I don't know if that's a skill or not. Yeah, it turns out my parents did know. So that summer, I'm hanging out with my best friend Ryan. And Ryan and I were kind of weird kids. We liked to keep statistics on everything we did. We would keep like how many steps between each other's houses, how, you know, every game we played, we'd keep stats on it. We'd play basketball, how many rebounds, how many shooting percentage, how many shots did you make, how many points, how many, you know, blah. We would keep stats on everything. Dice games, computer games, video games, anything we did, we would keep stats on it, right? In fact, I was just hanging out with him recently, and I was at his house, and he pulled out this book of stats from our childhood. He had kept all the stats. And I was like, you haven't thrown that away? I was like, and he's like, no, it's our childhood in statistical form. I can't throw it away. I was like, you're right, you really can't. So he held on to these stats, and we were looking through them. It was hilarious. So that summer, I'm hanging out with him, and he comes to me, and he goes like, Adam, I just learned about QB rating. And it's quarterback rating, and it's a way in football that they take 9 different statistics, and they combine them into one number. Okay, into one rating. Basically, just take some pre-algebra to know how to do the equations. Okay, and that year, I should have learned pre-algebra. So he sits down, starts doing these equations, and you know, he and I were, you know, he was a couple years older than me, but I could kind of keep up with his math a little bit, you know. But this stuff, I was like, you're using letters? What the what? You know, that's not math. You know, like I had no clue what he was talking about. And he, you know, at this point we're 13, or he's 15, I'm 13. He doesn't exactly have like the social sensitivity that, you know, he's got the social sensitivity of a 15-year-old. So he's not exactly nice about it. He's like, you know this stuff, right? What are you, an idiot? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'm an idiot. And I like made some excuse. I'm like, oh, my mom needs me. And I left. And I went home. And I'm walking home, and the weight of the world is on my shoulders. And I'm just like, I just wasted a whole year sleeping in a bathroom. What did I do? Why did I do it? So I get home, and by the time I get home, I'm kind of angry about it.
That's
right? And I'm like, why did I go to this hippie conservative school? Bunch of weirdos. Mom! And I get home. Mom, why did you put me in this school? You know? And what was I doing? Whose education, in my mind at that point, my education was whose problem?
Mom's.
My mom. And the schools. Right? Mom, why'd you do this? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Well, Adam, it's your education. Yeah, but why'd you put me in this school? Blah, 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 blah. Well, Adam, it was up to you. So you knew I was doing that all year? Yeah. It's up to you to want to learn. What? I'm going to call the government and tell them to take me away. I don't know why I would want to do that, but, you know, like, I was mad, right? I'm mad. So she's finally like, well, why don't we go talk to so-and-so at the school? He's kind of like the school counselor. Why don't we go talk to him and see what he thinks? So we set an appointment. We go down like 3 days later. And I go into his office, and on the car ride over, I'm thinking over it all, and I'm getting mad again. I'm like, why in the heck this stupid school, aspire not require? What the heck does that mean? I'm mad. So I get in there, and I kind of give him a little bit of a piece of my mind. I'm like, why do you guys run the school this way? Blah, 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 blah. You know, and I haven't learned anything. I'm like a year behind. I'm probably going to graduate from high school. I'm going to be one of those people that have to be in high school for an extra year. I'm an idiot. You know, and I'm like really mad at this point. And he's like saying the same things my mom said. Adam, it's your education. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is what parents say. Right? That's what they say. Like, give it to me real. And he's like, well, Adam, if you want me to be totally real, yeah, you might graduate late. You might not ever graduate. Or you could choose to graduate a year early if you want. It's up to you. And I said, right, maybe I'll graduate 2 years early. And he goes, okay. And he stands up, and there's a big old whiteboard on his wall. And he starts, I'm 13 at this point, so to graduate 2 years early, I'd be 16, so it's 3 years. Starts creating this 3-year plan for me to graduate. Everything I'd have to do and accomplish, all the stuff I'd need to get through, blah, blah, blah. All the requirements, lays it all out, jots down this 3-year plan, year 1, year 2, year 3, bam. Doesn't look at me for like 10 minutes, just putting this whole thing up on the board. Then he turns around and he looks at me and he goes, what do you think? To this day, I have no clue why I said this. I said, all right, I'll do it. And my mind went, what are you doing? And I was like, okay. And guess what? I went to work. For the first time in my life, my education was mine. I owned it, and I was gonna nail it. I was gonna graduate in 3 years. Now, let me be honest. I don't think that school was the best school. And I jumped through a lot of hoops and did a lot of stuff. And I don't think I really got a great education until I got into college and went to a liberal arts school. But for the first time in my life, I learned to work hard academically. I learned to put my heart and soul in and get work done and make it mine. Not because my mom had made me, or my mom threatened me, or my mom told me I had to, or my mom, right? It was me. It was up to me for the first time in my life. It was my education. I graduated 3 years later and went on to college right after that. Back to Emmett's story. Emmett is projecting as well. Right? I was projecting, Emmett's projecting. But what if Emmett's mom marched in, instead of getting home and saying, how's the math going? She said, you haven't done your math? Get it done right now. I can't believe this, blah, 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 right? Right? What if she did that? Would she be pressuring him at that point?
No. Yeah.
No.
What?
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. If I begged and pleaded with you to paint the cow purple, you might be really annoyed. You might be frustrated. You might be like, who the heck? But you're never going to actually feel pressure to do that thing unless it's something you really want to do. Unless you agree with me that the cow should be painted purple, right?
Yeah, she wants to.
You're not going to feel that pressure. Now, Emmett's mom would make it oh so inviting to project it onto her, right? She would make it a lot easier if she doesn't leave it up to you and it's, getting mad at you and angry with you and so forth. She'd make it really inviting. She'd make it really easy to project it onto her. She'd make it really easy to make it her problem, because when someone's yelling at you to do it, they are making it their problem in some ways. But truly, in the end, is it her education or is it yours?
Mine.
It's yours. Exactly. And only you can get it. You won't feel pressure unless it's something you actually want to do. You might feel pressure to satisfy her. You might feel pressure not to get in trouble. But you won't feel pressure to do that thing unless you actually want to do it. So, imagine this. If I walked up and grabbed the back of my head and beat it against this wall, you'd probably think I was nuts.
Why did you do
right?
that?
Physically. But aren't we exactly doing that thing every time we fight against our own desires?
Yeah.
If you want to be good at math and you fight against it, aren't we really just beating our head against the wall of math? Isn't it a waste of time, a waste of energy, when it's something deep down you really want to do? You really do want to be good at your math. It's just hard, and it is hard, and it's Facebook is funny, and YouTube there's a new video. We get distracted. Those things are easier, but who really wants to be good at 35 at watching YouTube videos? No, honestly, let's just be totally real. Do you want to be like world-class YouTube video watcher?
No.
Someone's like, if that's a thing to make money at, no, it's not. Okay? Honestly, but who would really like to be great at math and really be great at life and learn how to lead yourself and have success? And that's what we really want. We want to do those things, yet we don't do them. Okay, so first rule of great thinking, of learning how to think. You got to own your own projections. You got to own your own desires. You got to learn to lead yourself by owning your thinking. Okay? So, every time you feel pressure, ask yourself this question. Why am I feeling this pressure? What is it that I really want to be doing? Does that make sense? If you really listen to that, I'm feeling pressure around my math. Oh, that means I probably do really want to do my math. Why do I want to do my math? In fact, let's do that right now. Why do you want to do your math?
Because math.
Okay, just her. Go ahead.
So I can be successful.
Give me successful. Give me more specifics than that.
So if you're raising a family, you can know how to pay your bills.
Yeah. Learn how to think better, right?
Yeah.
All those things are useful to you.
And math I haven't been covered yet.
Yeah, there's the challenge of doing it. Would you like to be able to say, yeah, I can do high school math and I can complete that, right? Or do you want to live with that the rest of your life? No, I never got that far. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to be that person. So we have to take responsibility. Well, what does that mean? If you really want to be good at your math, what does that mean?
Set out a plan.
Set out a plan and do it, right? Accomplish it. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so what's principle 1? Own your thinking, right? Overcome your projections. Okay, one more thing with projections. Sometimes we project onto other people, like mom or the school or someone else, right? Your friend, right? You project onto them and we blame them. But we can also project onto our personality. Have you ever heard someone go, apologize for getting angry and blame their temper? As if it's separate from them. Like, sorry I got angry, it's my temper. It's this thing over here, this temper, and I got angry, I'm sorry. Or, who's ever used the phrase, this is the way I am?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you've ever used that. That's a projection, right? This is the way, I can't do anything about it. I'm a jerk. It's just the way I am. No one was born a jerk. You learned that and you can unlearn it, right? You take responsibility for it. Does that make sense, guys? Who's ever said, I was born that way? Or that's the way my family is? Or, right? That's us not taking responsibility, okay? We can also not only project onto our identities, right? We can project onto things. You might think, what? Yeah. Who's ever blamed the computer for not getting something done? Oh, it's a stupid computer.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't have to do it now. The computer didn't work today, right? We absolve ourselves of responsibility because, right? I guess I didn't have I didn't get the message. Oh, sorry. I didn't look at the text. Or we project onto things even, okay? And we blame them instead of taking responsibility for our choices, our actions, our desires, okay? It's a waste of time, and you won't become a great thinker unless you choose to own your thinking. Okay, part 2. Okay, all right. Okay, psychological projections. Hey guys, shh. I know she's so cute, dude. I know, but yeah, you just gotta. And he's kind of, and she's really grossed out right now. So I reserve the right in my classrooms to read private chats, and I've had some great ones. So good. So when I see flirtation, I just need to point it out, right? Okay. All right, second one. Second principle of great thinking. It's called psychological safety. Okay? This comes from the folks at Google. You guys ever heard of Google? Yeah. Once or twice? Okay. Yeah, so the folks at Google, did you know Google has over 50,000 employees? Wow. It's bigger than most towns and cities in the United States. Okay, and more people work there. It's a lot of people. And they organize things into teams with team leaders. Okay, so everyone at Google is on a team, sometimes multiple teams, and they have a team leader or sometimes multiple team leaders. Okay, everyone is on a team. And Google, they've put over the last 10 years, or from about 2000 to about 2010, they put a lot of money into training their team leaders to be great team leaders. And they did a ton of research, ton of work on that, and they've really created great leadership training programs. Awesome company to work for. In fact, they're always ranked in the top 10 companies to work for. Okay? But more recently, in the last 7 years, they've been studying. They thought, well, look, we want good team leaders, but what actually just makes a good team? What combination of people makes a good team. So if you were a team leader at Google, how would you want to kind of pick your team? What would you think?
Well, you want a variety of people,
A variety of people with what?
like different outlooks on the situation.
Yeah, different outlooks. Give me more.
Skills.
Yeah, different skills. So maybe like an engineer, or okay. So good. That's what they thought as well.
Someone hardworking and teachable.
Yeah, hardworking, teachable, good. Now we're getting at it, okay? But I went to the first that place too, okay? And they did too. In fact, let me read you a quote, okay? Here's a quote from Julia Rosofsky at Google. She said, over 2 years we conducted 200 plus interviews with Googlers. That's what they call their employees, Googlers. And looked at more than 250 attributes of 180 plus active Google teams. We were pretty confident that we'd find the perfect mix of individual traits, right, and skills necessary for a stellar team. Take one Rhodes Scholar, right, 2 extroverts, right, that's a personality type, right, 2 extroverts, 1 engineer who rocks at AngularJS, okay, and a PhD, right, someone really smart, right, and voila, you've got the perfect team, right? That's what they thought. And who kind of would go there? I went there. If I was going to make it, get me these people with these skills, maybe some of these personality traits, put them all together, and bam, you got the best team, right? She said this. She says, we were dead wrong. Who is on the team matters less than how the team members interact, structure their work, and view their contributions. So much for that magical algorithm, okay? What they found was really, on certain really important projects, they would put their rock stars together on a team, right? Their smartest, most capable people on these really big problems. And some of them did well and some of them didn't. And sometimes they thought, well, it's probably because the problem that they're trying to solve is too complex or hard, right? Not until did they really study teams did they realize what's called psychological safety is the key. Psychological safety is basically 2 things, okay? It's essentially where you feel safe to work with other people, to collaborate, to take risks, to share, to rub shoulders with them, to work together. Have you ever been in a group and you get shut down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like you're about to say something, or you want to say something, or you are saying something, and they're like, nah, and they don't even hear you, and they just kind of shut you down, and you move, and they, right? Or everyone, just listen to this person. They're the expert, right? And you're like, well, hey, I've got some opinions too. Have you ever had that experience? Right? And then later, are you likely to share again? Not as much, huh? Are you likely to take risks? How many of you have ever been sort of beaten down for having a dumb idea? By friends or relatives, people, you do, right? Do you want to share an idea next time? Not as much. Does that go to making a good team if no one's sharing ideas? If no one's willing, if everyone's worried that they're going to get jumped on for having a bad idea? You know what I'm saying? So psychological safety is feeling safe to share, to collaborate, to work together. Okay? And it's broken down into 2 parts. One, voice. The other, social sensitivity. Voice is essentially where everyone gets roughly equal time to share their thoughts. Okay? Roughly equal time to share your thoughts. Now that doesn't mean equal say. Team leader still needs to make decisions. In fact, they set up some of the teams, they tested some of the teams and made them democratic. So every decision was made by the group and everyone had equal say. They weren't more productive. Just having the ability to share, even if someone says, no, we're not going to end up doing that. If you feel heard, you don't feel undercut, right? You feel better. Psychological safety helps you actually think because you're liberated to think. Social sensitivity is the other half. That's where someone says, hey, how's your parents? Hey, how's your kids doing? Last week, my son, he was in and out of the hospital. Had some stomach pains and all sorts of bad stuff going on. I got email after email from colleague after colleague saying, oh, hey, I heard about what's going on. Tell me what's going on. Every meeting I had, hey, what's going on? They wanted to get an update before we did anything else, right? It makes me feel cared about. I was feeling a little insecure because I wasn't at work as much that week, right? I was at home more with him and at the hospital with him, right? And so I was feeling a little insecure about my work because I'm like, oh, I got so much work to do and I'm not getting everything done this week and right? And everyone's like, hey, we totally get it, dude. Don't worry about it. You know, get it done later. You've got bigger things. Do I feel safer at that point? Yeah. It liberates you to actually think. It's totally counterintuitive, right? You wouldn't think, hey, being friendly and nice and equal time to share would make you a better thinker, but it actually creates way better thinking. We do this in our classrooms at Williamsburg. We try to develop environments where students can feel safe with each other. So we're going to try to experience this a little bit together. One of the things that we do at Elevation, anyone ever heard of Elevation? A few of you have? Elevation is where we do these summer camps. We bring everyone together into these summer camps and we do an experience called Walls. Okay? All right, so raise your hand if you are a high schooler, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay, you guys go over here. Okay. And if you are a middle schooler, I want you back here. Okay.
Coming in a minute.
I'm 14. So you're still back here.
Okay, high schoolers over here, middle schoolers back there. And if you don't want to do this, okay, let me actually explain real fast, because you might not want to do it, and it's okay if you don't. It's going to require touching someone else's hands, just their hands, okay, and prolonged eye contact.
Oh, that, I can't do that.
With the opposite sex.
Maybe. Okay? All right. First rule, and everyone, first rule is you got to listen, so shh, no talking. If someone's talking around you, ask them to not talk. Shh. Second rule, and I mean this really seriously, and I'm not trying to be funny, you got to leave romantic feelings outside. Okay? Please do. Okay? The only way to do this is leave romantic feelings outside. Okay? All right. All right. Okay, everyone get in a line and grab a partner. So your partner needs to be facing you across from you. So everyone grab a partner. Try to grab someone you don't know. Grab someone you don't know.
You don't know? I don't know.
Are you guys the only high schoolers, huh?
No.
All right, how about, since it's a small group, you guys come over here with me.
I'll go through.
Okay. All right. Follow me, but just go further down over here. Okay? Okay, yeah, you guys slide down, everyone slide down. And then high schoolers, I guess you can go here. So high schoolers this way.
Okay, so this is getting
Okay. Again, if you don't want to do this, feel free to sit down. It's okay. Okay. Grab a partner. Raise your hand if you have a partner. If you don't, find someone. So you two, come here. Right here. Okay, so let's form a line. So you scoot back. One. You come in right here. Okay, grab a partner. Raise your hand if you got a partner. Partner.
Wait a minute.
We need one extra person.
We got one extra person.
Yeah, you and you. Okay. Okay. Do you want to do this?
What is this?
Okay.
Oh, you just walked in.
What game is this, by the way?
Just do it.
It's up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to touch hands and do some eye contact. He's like, what did I just walk into? Are you willing to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, here, put your stuff down then. Okay.
What's with
all right.
eye contact?
You just have to, okay? All right, guys. So scoot in so you're about, 2 feet apart. 2 feet apart. Okay. So a little bit close. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. Raise your hand. Raise your hand and give me a promise, because this is something kind of serious. Okay. We're gonna actually develop psychological safety together. Okay. So it takes some seriousness. It's okay to giggle a little bit. It's okay to scratch your nose and stuff like that. Okay. It's okay to be like, I've got a booger. Okay. It's okay, you're going to have those feelings, but I need you to take it pretty seriously. So if you do giggle, try not to get going, right? Just take it, be real with me. So raise your hand if you're willing to do that. If you're not, if you don't think you can do that, it's okay, just sit down and watch. Okay, so raise your hand high if you think you can do that, if you can take this seriously. Okay? All right. All right, let's do it. All right. So, Who's here heard of the word sonder? Not quite yet. Sonder. Okay, sonder is the realization that other people have a world as complex, as meaningful as your own. Have you ever had that experience where you just all of a sudden realize, whoa, they have their own world?
Yep.
Right? We're always in our own heads, right? And we have our own world. And every once in a while we get a chance to get outside of that world and realize, oh, other people have the same thing. That's sonder. We're going to experience sonder together. What you're going to do is you're going to touch hands. You can either touch hands like this or like this, whatever you're more comfortable with. It's up to you. And try not to talk at all. Try not to talk at all. Try not to talk. Okay? And now you're going to look at each other's eyes. So put your hands up here. If you can't do it, it's okay. You can sit down. You don't think you can? Okay, go ahead. Sit down. Just hang out. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else want to do it with him? Do you want to do it? Anyone? No? Okay. Okay, I'll trade you in, okay? I'll trade you in. Okay, all right, shh. Okay, now everyone look into each other's eyes. Shh. Try to be quiet. Try not to move or talk or make a joke. Try not to push. Just look at each other, okay? Softly. Shh. Here, you guys go like this. Same hand. Come together a little closer. There you go. It's okay to giggle a little bit. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But try to be cool. It's just a person. Just a human being. Okay. Shh. Okay. Look into their eyes. Experience sonder. They say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. Try to get a glimpse of who they are. Their worries, their concerns, their hardships, their happiness, their problems. Let yourself melt a little bit and just calm down. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. And experience sonder. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to put on a mask. In fact, just take off the mask for a moment and just be exactly who you are. And just look at their eyes. Get a glimpse of who they are. It's all right. It's normal to giggle a little bit. See, we don't do this much, do we?
Never.
What'd you guys do today? Oh, I stared into someone's eyes for 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. This is really serious. So lock in hands again. Lock in eyes. This person needs to hear something from you. They need to hear something from you. Look into their eyes. Look into their heart. If your back is towards me, I want you to share what you see in that other person. And then the other person across from you can go. Ready? Go. And then the other person across from you can go. So the people facing me, go ahead. It's okay. And then once you're done, just go quiet again and look at each other. Okay, drop hands. It's over. Okay, now if you wouldn't mind, go all the way down to the end, and then everyone with your backs towards me, shift down one person. Shift down to the left. Shift down to the left, one person. No. So you stay, you shift. There you go. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. Okay. Did no one here? Oh, he had to leave. Oh, you're good. Okay, no, you're cool. Yeah, just sit down. All right, one more time. Go ahead and lock in hands. Some of you are fantastic. Thank you. Great job. Okay, lock in hands. Look at each other. This is a human being. This is a person that has struggles. This is a person that has difficulties. They've experienced real pain. They've experienced real happiness. They've had mundane days. They have insecurities. They're trying to figure out who they are, who they want to be, where they're going. Again, get a glimpse of who they are. Experience Sonder. Okay. This person needs to hear something from you. Instead of telling them what you see, try to intuit what they need to hear. If you're facing me, you go first. Tell this person what they need to hear.
I feel like to hear. No, I know you're hearing.
And if your back is towards me, go next.
Sorry about it. This is my first time too.
Okay, go sit down. Okay. Go sit down. 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 Okay. Give me 5 more minutes real quick. We gotta debrief that. All right, guys. All right, so we've only got just a couple minutes left. We're not going to even get to my third principle, which I wanted to do, but that we took too long today. So, but I told you I'd get you up and out of your chairs. A little awkward, I know. Not easy.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you're like, that was one of the hardest things I've done in a while. Some of you not so much, some of you yeah. Some of you like, no, that's not a big deal. That was pretty easy.
That was fairly easy.
Good. Okay, so a mix, okay? All right, so if you would, focus in for 1 second, no talking. Shh. Okay, I want to hear from you. This is a serious question. What did you see? Cool, child of God.
I saw huge potential.
Potential, awesome. What else did you see?
Determination.
Cool. What else did you see?
A lot of people like me.
A lot of people like you. Yeah, I like that.
I saw someone who's very happy.
Happy. Ah, awesome.
They were trying their best to do it right.
Trying their best. Great.
I saw a mix of like a peaceful, but also like has like a sassy side to them.
Yeah. Okay, you saw some personality. Yeah.
Problems and worries that other people have.
Yeah, yeah.
Saw people trying to figure out life just like I did.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out. Just like, yeah, I love it.
A lot of people that I saw were worried about what other people thought about them.
Yeah. Insecure. Did you see some insecurities?
A little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Feels the same way of me about this. Like Alex kind of awkward and like tell that they felt the same way.
Yeah, they felt a little awkward too.
I saw them and how they thought,
Cool.
like other people too.
Yeah, how they thought and how, yeah, good. Okay. So this experience in our camps that we do at Williamsburg creates a ton of psychological safety. Do you feel like you were cared about by the other person? Did you feel a greater connection now?
Yes.
Yeah. Psychological safety, if you can take that home and do it with your family, it changes your family. Try to create an atmosphere with your family, with friendships, where people are safe, where they're not beaten over the head for making a mistake, or for messing up, or doing something stupid, or having a booger, right? You're like, oh, booger, right? We all hate that, right? But when you feel safe, you can think, okay? And if you're homeschooled, that's your place of thinking, right? You need to feel safe to think. Be willing to create an atmosphere where you give siblings equal time to share, where you're paying attention to their feelings and them to you, leading by example. You'll create better thinking in your home. Okay, we won't go on to our third one, but if you want to come talk to me later, I'll teach it to you. Okay, come to my booth. Okay, see you guys.